Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Here we are on a snowy Sunday afternoon, and we're kind of try and squeeze this in between football games. And I just drew this out actually. I'm just going to go over the line so you can follow me, but I just thought I'd draw it out so that I could get on with it really quickly. So we've just got our container vase like that, and I just drew a couple of little organic shapes. You can make these up, it's up to you. And then I've got two cactus here, funny shapes, but they do grow in these funny shapes, some of them, and they look a bit like Snoopy characters to me. So once you've got your shape in, and like I said, make up your own, you don't have to follow mine. If you want to lightly rub out the lines so they don't show through your, especially if you're using light coloured watercolour like yellows and things like that, rub out your lines, your heavy lines with a putty rubber. A normal rubber will do, but a putty rubber is ideal on watercolour paper. And then we're going to choose some colours. What have we not used? Well, we've used purple, a lot of green, quite a bit of red. So maybe we'll do a yellow cacti. Let's see now. I've got here what is called a gamboge yellow, and it's a really nice yellow actually. It's very golden in colour. It's a bit richer than a cadmium yellow, but not as brown as the yellow ochre, which is this one. This is your cadmium, this is your yellow ochre, which is sitting on the brown side of a yellow, and then you've got your gamboge yellow. You may have other yellows in your sets. If you do, use them. I know that different manufacturers of paint have their own mixes of all colours. So that's one of the reasons why people buy different manufacturers, is to get the different mixes. It's very much like cooking. You just mix up your own, you get the powders, and then you make and create your own colours. A lot of artists sell their own colour mixes. And you can get some great colours. I mean, you can mix them yourself. I mean, really, you only need the primary colours, and you've got a huge amount of colours to access just through primary colour mixing, let alone anything else. Right, so yellow. So what is the complementary colour to yellow? So we've got a red and a blue mix, so it would be a purple. So rather than using my purple, let's mix a purple. And I'm going to use the cobalt or the cerulean. It doesn't matter which one, but one of you like to clean your brush before you do this, not like I just did. So there we go. A bit of cobalt. I'm just going to pop it down here in the bottom and mix any red with it. So normally we would mix alizarin crimson and ultramarine to get a purple. That's my favourite purple. But this time I'm going to mix cobalt and cadmium red. Okay, and you'll see what I mean by the purple that you get and how different it is to a standard purple colour. Okay, so you'll find that this is the purple that you get from that mix. So it's quite a dull purple, but nevertheless it's still a purple. So like I said, experiment with your colour mixing and see what the different blues and the different reds give you with regard to purple. it very much depends on how much black is in all pigments. There's an element of black, and that's what you've got to remember when you are mixing colours, because if there's a lot of black in that pigment, it will send colours off onto the sort of duller side. So there must be a bit more black in that cadmium red or in the cobalt blue that sends that purple off onto sort of a burnt, I wouldn't really describe it as a burnt, but a dull purple rather than a rich purple. What I'm talking about is, if you look at this colour here was the alizarin crimson ultramarine. So you can see the difference, can't you? In, whoops, no, I can't get that back. There. Okay, the difference in colour strength alone. Okay, so experiment with your purples. Okay, so I should really dry this off, but I'm just going to mix another purple. Let's try that. We've got a few more minutes. So let's try mixing the orange red. So I've got orange red here. I'm going to pop it down on this side here. Orange red with, let's have a see, what else have we got? I think this is my cerulean blue. Right, what's this going to do to the mix? And we'll stick this in, if I can straighten it up there. Stick this in here. Slightly different purple. A little bit darker. I mean, that would just be down to the fact that I've put a little bit more pigment in. But when it thins out, it's actually not that different. But to an expert eye, they would be able to tell that that mix there is different to the cobalt mix. Okay, you can sort of see it on the camera, but once it's dry, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, next, fine detail brush, and we'll have some brown. So I'm just going to use a burnt sienna, which is a sort of reddy brown colour. I've added quite a lot of water because I want it to flow really nicely on my brush. And I'm going to put in some spikes on this, and hopefully it's dry enough. Yeah. Let's see what happens when we go to the middle, because it's the middle bit that's likely to be less dry. So if I work on the outside first and then extend into the middle, do some spikes like they might be behind, projecting from behind. You'll get a bit more of a 3D feel then. It was a bit thin. I mean, there would be different thicknesses. Have them sort of coming off at different angles. You can have some short and some long. Don't have sort of repetitive marks, because it ends up looking a bit boring then. How are we doing? Ooh, 109. Nearly there. I'm just going to put some looking like they're coming from behind. In there. Okay, nice one. I think that'll do for today. Oh, no, hang on. Let's just do that bit. Just going to pick up a bit of muddy purple from a palette. I'm just going to put in a line. Actually, that's not thick enough. Thicken it up a bit. A line just there, just to separate, and a little shadow just underneath. Oops. Just there like that. Okay. Thanks for joining in on this snowy Sunday. Hope you're having some fun in the snow or watching the football like we are. Watching footballers run around in snow. Either way. Okay, come on, Luton.